Hello and welcome in. My name is Megan. I am the CEO and founder of Valkyrie Fitness and Nutrition. And what I'm going to be diving into today is how one of our clients has shaved off 35 minutes on her previous PR run time for a 26 plus mile marathon. Now, why is this important? So, first and foremost, we help women first responders, we help women shift workers, we help women in the military and things of that nature. And many of these women need to improve their run times, things of that nature. Now, this client, Karen, she came to us because she does this stuff like personally, right? She just likes to go on marathon runs and things like that. But she wanted to improve. She also came to us for more athletic performance and in turn had gotten a lot of body recomposition in the process too. Now, this is someone who ran pretty often, right? If someone's got a PR time for running 26 miles marathons, there's someone that runs pretty consistently, right? So when she came to us, for her, it was more like, I just want to see more changes. I want to improve. I want to feel better. Now, this client is 46 years old. She is 5'4". She came into like around 150 when she first started with us. And like I said, her main driver was ultimately just like performance. She didn't really care too much about the scale, all that stuff. So below what I'm talking about now is this is from our group chat inside. So our clients have access to a community. There's a lot of things that go on in the community. We posted our animal pictures the other day, but I was just wanted to kind of get an idea on like what people were accomplishing. So she ran her marathon. She actually did a little bit further than she was supposed to, but she had been training with us and she cut off those 35 minutes. She finished faster than 65% of the other ladies in her age group. And she said, like, I came in to lose some weight, and she's down 16 pounds, and to rehab her foot that she broke in September. Now, you gotta think about, right? September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So March is when she ran 26 miles. So not only were we able to accomplish her cutting time, losing weight, and being able to run on this, rehabbed foot, that's a lot for someone, leading into almost their 50s, right? So that's what I tell clients or just anyone in general, when they come in, we've seen a lot of different, different goals, a lot of different injuries, a lot of different types of women and what they want and what they want to see. Our goal is to kind of like optimize everything, combine things. So that way, one, they're accomplishing these goals, but two, like they're doing more than they ever thought possible, right? Most people, when they come in, they don't think they're going to cut a half hour off their run time. That's a lot of time. So let's dive in on what we did, how we kind of accomplished this stuff. I'm going to pull up some of her training protocols so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Now, for our clients, I know this is hard to like comprehend because most people step into a coaching program and they get like a generic program. We do not do that, right? We do not have generic plans for people. We are very high touch in the sense like Karen probably would never have accomplished this if she followed some generic program because we had to implement a couple things, right? Hip mobility, she was actually incorporating strength training, which definitely helped her run time, her body recomposition. I'm going to pull those pictures up as well. We did some shoulder mobility for her too and some back mobility. Because again, like all this stuff comes into play. And I don't remember if I mentioned the running. We also incorporated running style, cardio sessions inside of her program too, right? And that's a big problem a lot of people have just in general. They don't know how to blend strength training in with their run training in order, one, not to lose their strength, or vice versa. They're like highly focused on the endurance and the cardio side, and they don't have the muscle definition or the body recomp they want to have. I've had clients come in and they're great runners, but they don't look like runners, right? They can't lose the weight, or they're kind of stuck in terms of their body composition. They're not happy with it. They have no muscle definition, all that stuff, because it's just like the good combination that you have to kind of put in together, right? So she was under Coach Denise. Coach Denise has ran marathons. Coach Denise has had 3 back surgeries. So she's great with rehabbing any injuries. She's worked with physical therapists over the years. She's had 20 years experience. So that's what I say when like people come to us, you're not just getting, Chad at the gym who just got his certification in a weekend. Like you're getting a woman, like someone with experience. You're getting someone with background, someone who's done this in the past. And that's how we pair our clients up to, right? So big thing, right? Let's dive in really quick. So First and foremost, here are things that we did not do when Karen joined the program. We did not cut her carbs, we did not overtrain her, and we did not only focus on the running, okay? It's a big issue we see. So when most people I talk to in the DMs, sometimes I catch some people, if you guys are talking to Nikki through text messages, I'm seeing like, oh, I'm trying to improve my run time. What am I doing every day? Oh, I'm just running. That's not going to get you there faster. It's really not. You need to incorporate strength training, and that's another thing we did, right? So we were heavy on mobility, heavy on strength, and leading into the run, we implemented more running training, but doing it in a correct way, right? When you have a marathon or even like your PT test or something like coming up, the number one thing I see is like, what do people do to train for it? They just keep doing the run. I'll just keep running 2 miles if I'm in the army. It's not the correct way to train for it. It's not going to help lower your run times because if you're struggling for it every single time, what's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. That's what I see happen a lot, especially with military PT tests, women going into academies. After someone who's done a lot of this, I just see it happen over and over and over again. And it just doesn't help you progress in the manner that you're looking for. So for us and for a lot of clients, right, Karen has been running for years. This is not her first marathon, clearly, right? She's shaved off some time, her PR. So for her, like it was, I need some different type of structure because clearly whatever I'm doing just isn't the right way. So that's what we did. We pinpointed, we figure out how she's training, what she's currently doing, what's her splits, what is she eating? Because another key component to why people struggle getting athletic performance or losing inches and dropping weight is their nutrition just isn't up to par for their goals either. And that's a big thing with if you're in the military and you're training for your AFT, I see people trying to make weight but also trying to improve on the different exercises you have to do, and it's just like you're just it's just not going to work, right? You're just butting heads with two separate goals and it never works out. When we have women come in and we're focused on like improving PT tests, very similar to like run times, we have to ensure like that is the goal because everything else will fall underneath, right? Because people get super hyper focused on like scale, and I get it, like the military is also shifting to dropping inches, which is better in my opinion than just being a number on the scale. And a lot of you guys are just rushing to lose the inches, which means like improper dieting, which leads to fatigue, which means lower scores on your AFT, PRT, PFT, whatever branch you're in. And I just see this battle constantly. So with Karen leading into it, let's just take a look at her pictures really fast. Okay. So she's still inside, but she's just working a little different goals now. But these were her results from when she stepped in October and when she got done March. So within that, she lost a ton of inches off her midsection. You can definitely see that. You can see it in the front. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. There we go. You can see it in the front pictures. You can see it like, I guess, like pointing. I don't want to put this in the way. Let me do laser pointer. Sometimes that helps. There we go. Yeah, you can see it here in her midsection compared to here. She's a lot more bloated in her midsection. Same thing here, right? We flattened everything out, which is really nice. And then over here too, like we've pretty much helped her with, any of excess fat on her lower back. And a lot of that came down to strength and the mobility core. Coach Denise does a great job with core strengthening, especially women. As we get older too, right? Our midsections soften up. A lot of times too, just women are just incorrectly training core. A lot of it comes to your diet. So it's just a combination of things, or you guys are trying to like out cardio your goals and you think cardio is going to help you get lean in the midsection. It's not. That's another big thing, right? Someone who is running all the time, right? She still had issues with her midsection. So what's missing? A lot of times it's the strength. A lot of times it's the proper nutrition. A lot of times clients come to us and they're severely under eating. So I'm just pointing out all the things like you need to audit with yourself in order to start getting results, because this is a common theme we see over and over and over and over again. And I always tell people, like, go through any more of my other videos. You can subscribe to this page. I'm always giving out tips that you can implement. Over the years, I've had people come up to me in like the DMs and stuff and be like, hey, like, I implemented what you taught and I was able to lose 20 plus pounds, or, I lost a bunch of inches. I'm dropping into my old pants, and it's all stuff that I've taught over the years. So again, what we do inside is basically just set fire to like what I teach, because we can make things happen faster for clients, because you once you get access to like one of us, we're able to kind of do that. So all right, cool. We pulled that up. Let me go in so you can actually see a little bit. Here we go. Okay. So let's go back. What are we in? We're not April. I want to go back towards like January. Okay, here. And this is what I'm talking about, right? So for her, like a lot of mobility, a lot of strength training movements. We're not overdoing things. We were doing about 3 days a week of strength. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, basically 4 days of mobility. They're not counting Sunday on here, but 4 days of mobility on top of like making sure like our clients are adequately eating. So she was eating like around 170 grams of carbs, and on longer run days, like we can get away with eating more. You can see like she's running pretty far distance, and she's running 7 miles in just over like an hour. So our girl's moving. She's not playing around. You know what I mean? Some days she's walking, some days she's running. Great pace too. You know what I mean? So she's not unaccustomed to running, you can tell, right? But when you see her, like when she first came in back in October, her body composition didn't really match that, so we just had to really work on things. So you can see we're not overtraining her. You know what I mean? Like you go through here, like her weeks are pretty light sometimes, and isn't that shocking? Most people are doing too much, and that's one big thing is, we're adding in metabolic conditioning, we're adding in full body, we're changing up her programming based on, like, this was leading into her run, so taking a little bit more easy on some days. But that is one thing I oftentimes see happen. All right, got sidetracked there for a second. Sorry. So let's see. Like, again, when it comes to improving your runtime, stop solely focusing on running. It's going to make a very tiny difference. Like you're only going to like shave off a couple seconds. Over the years too, another big thing, like what I used to do. So a little background on me, because sometimes I forget to do that too, is I went through 3 academies. I also did base. I was also like the heck do you call it nowadays? I held the flag at my unit, because I had the best PT score in my entire unit. So I was someone that would, pass the PT test. They would ask me to like run different like exercises and stuff with our unit, and it was, it came, and I was super young, you know what I mean? Like I was like 19, 20 years old, and leading into that too, like, they put more responsibility on those that are more physically fit, which is another big key component. I do want to preface on this. Like, whether you realize it or not, you as a woman in a lot of these professions, if you're someone that needs to be physically fit, it will give you more credit. I hate to say it, I really do, but it's just something I've come to realize. It's something I see all the time. And a lot of women that come to us are those that are trying to get promoted or are in the process of moving into a leadership position. And they realize, like, as I'm leading from the front, I want to make sure, like, I'm actually able to keep up with, the younger generation, or I'm the one that people don't look down on because I'm out of shape, or like I don't look good in my uniform and things like that. And that's a big thing we see. Like Karen's pretty awesome. She's law enforcement. So that's another big thing, right? Dude, I'm not trying to run from her because she's going to outpace, she's going to get me. So for her, like, she's on patrol, she's still doing her job. And, in my eyes, even for her, like, she's in a really good shape in her late 40s, and is able to do the things that she needs to do. She's strong now. She feels good. She feels more confident. Her uniform looks better. Her body composition looks great in her civilian side, too. So you got to remember, like, all this stuff really comes into play. So what I found over the years with running, so if you're trying to improve your run time, stop doing like the corny little things here and there. Like you really need to improve your strength. I see that happen a lot where people don't focus on it. Another key component too is my cousin does marathons, and I've been telling her for years, you need to strength train, you need to strength train, you need to strength train, and she's like, no, I don't need to. I just need to improve my running. And I'm telling you, like if your legs get stronger, like if your core gets stronger, even if your back and your shoulders get stronger, your biceps, all that stuff is going to help with your run time. And people just don't listen. I don't know why. I've been doing this for a long time. Got a lot of experience in that side of things. So even just going through several different academies, right, I was always stuck being the leader. And it was only because I was physically fit. And like when I found that fall off, when I got into law enforcement, right, I put on 30 pounds. I felt like, even for myself, like I was losing credit towards myself. Like I knew I was able to do more and things like that. And I just kind of got lazy. There's only one way to put it. Like you put on weight, you get lazy. There's no way around it. I get it. We all work a lot of hours and things like that, but I just started to see it. I started to see how I showed up for work. I started to see it how I would show up to calls. I saw how it looked when I would put clothes on. I like the way it fit. So all this stuff comes into play, right? So again, if you're trying to improve your run time, stop solely focusing on running. Pay more attention to your nutrition. If you're under eating, your run time's going to just straight up suck. Like I'm just gonna be honest, it's gonna be terrible, especially with distance. The AFT basically a marathon, not a sprint. That's why they set it up that way. It's all about stamina, strength, and endurance. And most people are gassed out, especially after the sprint drag carry, and then the 2 mile run is basically the finisher, and people are just absolutely destroyed by that point. So it's lowering their run time. Now, if you can improve everything we talked about, right, not focusing solely on you're overtraining and making sure you're like heavy on mobility, especially, I mean, if you're watching this and you're over the age of 30, mobility is your best friend. And many people still don't warm up prior to the AFT or prior to exercising. Like your body is not like it used to be in your early 20s. So mobility is going to be your best friend. And that's why we work so heavily with Karen, because what did that do? It still helped strengthen her core, her back, her body composition shifted. So all this stuff, when you put it together in a structured manner, right? So another big thing too is what we see for most people is they're just kind of like throwing things together. And we don't want that. Like if you have a goal in mind, and I get it, like a lot of you probably watching are someone that either needs to pass a PT test or just improve your run time in general. If you're throwing stuff against the wall and hoping something sticks, it's just not gonna work. I always came in like leading into my PT test, I would change and shift my training specifically for that. So what's most training is twice a year, unless you're trying to get to like into some type of schooling, but like your training should shift around leading into your PT test, because most people just wait until the last minute. Oh, I'll just start running this month and I'll drop my run time, when in reality you could have started a couple months advanced, and then you wouldn't even have to stress about it. It'd be easy by that point. So if you're throwing it all together hoping something sticks, that's also going to affect how you perform. And just, I get it with a lot of you too, nutrition is the Achilles heel. If you go back to my page, I do have a bunch of different stuff on nutrition, so you can watch a couple of those. But ultimately, like, this is how we did it. It wasn't anything complicated. You saw how her training is structured, her nutrition. Again, I think she was, like I said, eating around 170 grams of carbs. Protein was adequate. She was hitting these numbers weekly, too. That's another thing I want to preface on. Even though she's in law enforcement, even though she's working 12-hour days, she was still able to do all of this stuff. Now, it came down to, like, having the accountability, having the support, having the tweaks, the change, and the adjustments done for her so she didn't have to think about it. But now, and she's in a really good place of consistency post program, because we still talk to her. So if this is something you are looking for in terms of having a structured plan, having something high touch, right? Again, this is not an app you just download. You're not going to just, we're not going to throw a random coach at you. We dive into everything on a consultation first. So that's what we did with Karen, right? She got on a consultation with us. We went through her goals. After figuring that out, what she needs, where she struggles, we placed her with a coach. Coach gets on an onboarding call with her like a day or two after then we can kind of set up what her programming looks like with a fitness assessment. And then moving into that, our first line of fire basically is figuring out where their nutrition is kind of screwed up. Like if we figure that out in the first week, that's how clients propel results, because we can go, no, this is what you need to immediately tweak, change, and adjust. We show them how to do that without doing a complete 180 on their nutrition. They're able to instantly see results. They're losing weight faster. They're losing inches. Their performance improves. They feel better. And, the wins just keep rolling after that. So if you're someone that wants that, again, someone who's ready, someone who doesn't have to really think about it at this point, you've been thinking about it for a really long time, there will be a link underneath this video for Calendly. Click on that. Find a day, find a time that works for you. You'll get set up on a call with either myself or Janine. We're going to walk you through how we do things, the systems we use inside. Again, if you just creep all over my YouTube, I pretty much break all this stuff down. I don't hide things. I tell people how to do it, in a way, or how we do it. So what's the difference between trying to do things on your own and working with a coach and getting this information and experience is exactly that. Like, we know what to do, how to adjust things. We're going to teach you how to do this stuff too. So it's the last time you ever need another program again. So like I said, there'll be a link below. If you want to see more videos of this, I'm going to keep trying to do client case studies. So that way you guys can see more about who is stepping into the program, the results they're getting, and exactly how they're doing things. All right.